Good evening, my dears. I'm Lady Creepypasta. I'd first like to welcome the new ghouls and gremlins to our little family, and I'd like to welcome everyone else back. It's lovely to see so many visitors stopping by my realm. I do appreciate the company. Hobbies can be quite exciting, don't you think? If your hobby involves collecting something, then you know the little thrill that you get when finding that rare piece to add to your collection. In today's story, by Redditor Life is Strange Me Too, one collector gets a little bit more than just a thrill. So come, lean in closer, and we'll begin. Everybody has their guilty pleasure hobbies. Some people smoke, some people listen to Justin Bieber. Some people choke themselves when they're jacking off. I collect serial killer memorabilia. I know my hobby is a little off-putting, but it's never hurt anybody. At least, not until now anyway. I've spent way more money than I can afford on my little shopping addiction. I've bought Ted Bundy's childhood drawings, Richard Ramirez's third-grade report card, and Charles Manson's hairbrush. Until last week, though, I'd yet to get anything really good. That was until I saw it. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was sure to be the crown jewel of my collection. I discovered it just sitting on eBay, minding its own business, as if it wasn't the coolest thing in the world. Looking at the seller's history, I saw that they had never sold anything else before, so I couldn't be sure that it was genuine. But what if it was? The thought ran in circles in my head until I finally caved and bought it. Last Tuesday, it finally arrived. I tore the box open as soon as the package came, and I was pleased to get a sudden and unpleasant chill as I looked at it. I distinctly remember thinking that maybe evil really could bleed out into objects like they say, and if any object had evil written all over it, it was this. Of course, I'd never been able to get my hands on a murder weapon or anything like that, but this was the next best thing. John Wayne Gacy's clown makeup set. If you don't know who John Wayne Gacy was, he was a children's party clown who liked to murder and mutilate little boys, sometimes still in his full clown suit and makeup. I had the makeup right here, and according to the seller, it was the very same makeup he wore during the killings. A chill, like an electric shock, ran through me as I thought about it. Now, I don't condone what John Wayne Gacy or any other serial killer did. In my opinion, people like that should have a target painted on their forehead and be sent to the firing range. I really can't explain my interest in this kind of stuff. Maybe it stems from my abusive childhood. Maybe I was a cockroach in my past life and I just subconsciously think that all humans deserve to be snuffed. Whatever the cause is, it's my one kick, and I'm not about to give it up because of the judgment of other people. Now that expository nonsense and moralizing is over, we can get to what happened after I bought the makeup. Maybe somebody out there can help me. Now, I'm not the type of guy who usually wears makeup. I'm ugly and I'm okay with it. But I knew as soon as I laid my eyes on this stuff that I had to try it on. And so I did. I shouldn't have. I took it to the bathroom, leaned over the sink, and painted it on. a nice white base with a big red mouth and 2 rounded blue triangles over my eyes, just like Casey. It looked pretty good, considering I'd never put on makeup before. That was until my skin started burning. I dropped the case in the sink and scrubbed the makeup off myself as fast as I could. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw my face had turned bright, gleaming red, like someone had rubbed the skin raw with a wire brush. Some idiot's idea of a prank, I guess. I sent him and eBay both angry emails, but didn't hear back from either. Figures. After that, I decided to toss the makeup case, but I couldn't bring myself to throw it in with the regular garbage. I had this strange feeling like I'd be contaminating the other trash somehow. Instead, I carried it outside in my hand. I was standing next to the bin, about to toss it in when the case went white hot. My hand opened involuntarily and the case clattered to the ground, the stubby little makeup crayons rolling off like rainbow-colored severed fingers. It took me about 2.5 milliseconds of careful deliberation to decide to leave it the fuck alone and let someone else deal with it. I was never going to touch that thing again. If that had been where it ended, then I'd consider myself no worse off. But it wasn't. The next morning, when I trundled into the bathroom to shave, there was a white splotch of clown makeup on my cheek. It took a moment for my sleep-fogged brain to make sense of what I was seeing. I muttered to myself that I must have just missed some of it the day before, but I didn't believe my own words. I grabbed the washcloth and scrubbed it off hard, leaving another raw red mark underneath. I thought back to how the makeup case had felt as I was about to toss it, white hot, and shuddered involuntarily, deciding to make myself feel better with a heavy dose of my favorite medicine, Jim Beam whiskey. I remember pouring the first glass as I sat in front of the TV screen on my old ratty couch, blankly tuning out an old rerun of Full House. And then I remember waking up to an empty bottle of whiskey and a splitting headache. The pain was concentrated right behind my left eye, a throbbing aura of hurt that felt like an angry fire. I caught a glimpse of myself in the black of the television screen. Had I turned it off? And I saw that there was another, bigger, white splotch on my cheek, along with a big blue diamond over my left eye. It took me 3 hours to scrub the makeup off. That night, I dreamt of cutting up the neighbor's kids. I woke up on the living room floor, drenched in sweat and my own urine. Hadn't I gone to sleep in my bed? That night was also the first time something died. After I'd cleaned myself up, I decided to go out for a walk. It was the middle of the night, sure, but I don't really go out in the daylight anymore, thanks to the clown makeup. That's when I saw a dark shape on my lawn. When I got closer, I could see that it was a cat someone had split open from tail to throat. Its intestines out in red ropes that shone in the moonlight. I realized, with a closer look, that it was the cat of the woman who lived down the road, Mrs. Arthur. The next night, I dreamt of eating my neighbor's kids. The morning after that, Mr. Robertson's dog was found decapitated in the street. The dog had been beaten to death, and around what remained of the neck were teeth marks. Human teeth marks. I haven't seen any more kills since the dog, but I keep having lapses in my memory, and I've begun to hear a faint whispering in my ears, like the rustle of wind over dead leaves. Kill them, the voices tell me. Tear them apart. I don't dare to look at myself in the mirror anymore. The clown makeup is growing thicker, caking onto my flesh in a hard, oily sludge. But worse is my eyes. They've taken on a hollowed, hungry gleam, like a rabid dog anxious for its next meal. Yesterday, when the whispers became too loud to drown out with whiskey, I decided enough was enough. I was going to check myself into a psych ward. I locked the door behind me when I left, stepping out into the harsh, glaring sunlight. I could feel the oily clown makeup start to soften under the sun's intense gaze. I heard the soft laughter of children to my left, and for a moment, I felt just a bit better. I smiled and glanced over to see my neighbor's kids playing together on the lawn. But when I saw what they were playing with, my smile faltered, sputtered, and died. A little black makeup case glittered in the sunlight between them as they painted each other's faces with big red lips and round blue diamonds. Clenched in the fist of the youngest one was a red nylon cord with a little silver tag attached. The collar of a dog. That's when I realized that the red smearing their lips wasn't all clown makeup. Some of it was blood. Oh dear. You might want to stay alert now and keep your pets indoors, at least till those kids get bored of their new toy. If you enjoyed this story, do check out the author's page. The link is in the description below. And of course, give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment. There are so many of you ghosts and gremlins commenting these days. I promise I do read each of them, and I promise I'll try and reply to all. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click on the bell icon for updates of new videos. That's all from me this evening, my dears. But remember, do come back and visit me soon.